I know a lot of people were really getting on my back about my opinions on Daniel Bryan these last couple of weeks, and that is your business. You have every right to not like my opinions. I'm just being honest with my opinions and giving them out here in video form. But I just want to say this. I thought the way WWE spotlighted Daniel Bryan on Raw was really good. I thought the way they put him in that gauntlet match in the main event of the show, I thought that was really good. It spotlighted exactly what Daniel Bryan does best, and that is wrestle. And it's a good way to try and make Daniel Bryan seem like a legit contender going against John Cena when you see him beating guys like Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro and then going on to beat Ryback by DQ. And even though he got put through a table at the end, it showed toughness. It showed that he would go through all these three guys, and if he can go through these three guys, it means that he does at least have a chance against John Cena. So I just thought I'd put that out there. The way they spotlighted Daniel Bryan on Raw, I thought this week was really good, and the ratings are actually pretty decent for Daniel Bryan this week, which is a good sign as well. But I've got to ask you this question now, and I want you to answer me this honestly. Do you think Daniel Bryan can beat Cena? Now, I'm not saying be a fanboy and say, oh, I really want Daniel Bryan to beat John Cena. I'm saying, do you really think Daniel Bryan can beat John Cena? Really? Give me an honest answer in the comment section below, because I don't, but I have my reasons for thinking that, and I'll be interested to hear your answers on this question. So on Raw, we had the official announcement of the Summerslam match between CM Punk and Brock Lesnar, and I must admit, I am actually really looking forward to this main event. And one of the main reasons why is because of the tagline. Just a simple tagline did a lot for me. The best versus the beast. Is it me, or does that sound like a very Attitude Era-esque tagline that, you know, really sets out the match very well? And I have no doubt this will be the main event too. I mean, if you look at Brock Lesnar's numbers when he main events pay-per-views, generally the numbers are pretty good, so don't be surprised if Brock Lesnar and CM Punk main event over John Cena and Daniel Bryan. I know a lot of people out there may want John Cena and Daniel Bryan to main event, but like I said, you look at Brock Lesnar's numbers, compare them to Daniel Bryan's numbers, it's really a no contest in my opinion. And you expect the big segments for the Brock Lesnar and CM Punk feud to happen on Raw, and we generally get these continuation segments on Smackdown, which I think are very necessary, as if you're going to hype up to the main event, you need hype on your Smackdown show, which is watched by 2 to 2.5 to 3 million viewers sometimes. So SummerSlam Smackdown hype is needed for this main event, even if the biggest segments happen on Raw. This is what I like to call a continuation segment. You had CM Punk addressing the WWE fans, talking about facing Brock Lesnar, talking about Paul Heyman turning his back on him, etc. And then we get this interruption with Fandango interfering, and CM Punk made him look like a little bitch. And all I got to say there, CM Punk, is good burial there. And all I have to say is, was this actually necessary? Why just not have CM Punk do a pro? Why did Fandango have to come out there just to get beaten up by CM Punk? Especially a new character like Fandango that you really want to try and get over, especially as possibly some kind of mid-carder down the line. Why'd you have to have him come out and get his ass kicked by CM Punk? It just seems to me like another example of Breakfast Club burial! Wade Barrett and the Primetime Players versus Mark Henry and the Usos. All I could think about throughout this whole segment was, I have no idea why they turned Mark Henry babyface when he was such a better heel. Mark Henry gets the pin here, and I don't know why they turned Mark Henry babyface. I just have no clue, especially just none at all. Wow, RVD actually put over Alberto Del Rio pretty clean in a very quick time. Was I the only one that was kind of surprised by this? I know Alberto Del Rio is the World Heavyweight Champion. I kind of expected this to be a longish match in the hour main event and have Del Rio look good against RVD, and I just can't believe RVD actually put Alberto Del Rio over. And if WWE actually are thinking of making RVD the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight Championship, then they can go and fuck themselves as far as I'm concerned. So, AJ Lee's State of Mind address. This was I guess you could call it an interesting segment. You know, I just want to put this out there. Dolph Ziggler is a babyface. The Dolph Ziggler going, ah, babe, no, babe. Do you actually like this corny babyface character that WWE have given Dolph Ziggler? Do you think going babyface was the right direction with Dolph Ziggler? Because I think it was. I think he was getting some legit reactions at some point, but I don't understand why WWE just have to make him like every other cheesy, typical babyface. As this whole segment is going through, this is all I can think of, but Dolph Ziggler is going to soon turn into another typical WWE babyface. So after some chit-chat between Ziggler and AJ, which I can care less about because it involves AJ Lee, you had Caitlyn come out and spear AJ. Ziggler takes out Biggie Langston. I'm guessing both these feuds are going to be continuing, and Ziggler is going to be feuding with Biggie Langston, which I said last week is a massive downgrade for a guy like Dolph Ziggler, who you really wanted to try and establish as a babyface, and now he's going up against a guy who's just come up from NXT. Just not the best way, in my opinion, to try and reinforce some kind of babyface push for a Dolph Ziggler, really, in my opinion. So the Wyatt family debuted in action on Raw this week. You had Eric Rowan and Luke Harper versus the Tons of Funk, and the Wyatt family win pretty quickly, and it couldn't have made me happier, the fact that the Wyatt family beat Brodus Clay and Tensai, or Sweet Tea, in about a minute. And then you have Bray Wyatt cutting a promo on Kane afterwards saying, follow the buzzards. You know, I haven't really seen much of the Wyatt family on WWE TV, just replays from Raw, so it's nice to see them on a show that I've actually watched in full for once. And I've given most of my opinions on the Wyatt family anyway. You know that my opinion on Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family is incredibly high, so you don't really need me to say too much about this segment. And going in with a Bray Wyatt and Kane feud going into SummerSlam, that could be, like I said, a semi-interesting introductory feud for the Wyatt family, which should at least help them get noticed on the WWE roster going forward. We had Christian versus Jack Swagger. I didn't care about the match, and I'm not going to talk about it. Next! The highlight of this SmackDown for me was the way they portrayed this Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes feud. This actually played out throughout the whole show as like the main angle of the show. This was fantastic to see two kind of mid-card guys actually getting some spotlighting in the main event and throughout the actual SmackDown show. It's the kind of thing you'd never really see on Raw, but you'll sometimes see on SmackDown from occasion to occasion. And this Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes feud could be very good. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing where they go with this. We started off the show with Randy Orton versus Damien Sandow. We're starting off with a match instead of a promo. That was a good thing. WWE likes to do these champion versus champion or Money in the Bank winner versus Money in the Bank winner matches. And you had Cody Rhodes come out to the ring and take Sandow's briefcase to distract Sandow to allow Orton to RKO him for the win. So Orton getting the win here. You know, you were trying to continue on a feud, and I didn't mind Orton winning here against Damien Sandow. It was via distraction, and did help continue the Cody Rhodes-Sandow feud. And the way this played out throughout the night as well, I thought was done really well. You had Damien Sandow actually going backstage looking for Cody Rhodes, which is what you would do logically if Cody Rhodes just stole your Money in the Bank briefcase. And you have Sandow coming out after the Christian match, wanting his briefcase back and wanting Cody Rhodes fired as he is a thief. I thought that was quite funny. You have Cody Rhodes on the Titantron by the Gulf of Mexico telling Sandow to come and get it. And then we have this outdoors segment, which you don't really see very often on WWE TV, which they should do a lot more, in my opinion, because it really did add something to this feud. You have Damien Sandow going out to the Gulf of Mexico to where Cody Rhodes is by the Gulf, and they go back and forth a little bit, and Damien Sandow is trying to sort of talk Cody Rhodes into giving him back the briefcase and saying how he has better facial hair and is better looking and is more handsome than him and stuff. Really trying to throw out the compliments to try and get what he wants. And Cody Rhodes ends up throwing his briefcase into the Gulf. And as the briefcase was floating away and Damien Sandow had leaped in there, even saying that he didn't swim, was anyone else just thinking, Wilson! Wilson! Was anyone else just thinking that scene from Castaway? I don't know. But I thought this was a really good way to end the show, and they played this out throughout the night, and it was just a nice fitting way to end SmackDown. You know, this feud between Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes actually main eventing the show, other than your usual World Heavyweight Champion or whoever generally main events SmackDown, which has generally been people from Raw mainly. As for my thoughts on SmackDown, there was some stuff in here that I really didn't care too much about. There was some stuff that I thought was pretty dumb. So I guess this was another kind of like middle of the road SmackDown. I love the way they, I love the way they did this Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow thing throughout the night. The Wyatt family on the show is always a plus for me. RVD actually putting someone over is always a good thing. But there's a lot of stuff on this show that I really didn't care all that much about. Mark Henry is a babyface. AJ Lee and Dolph Ziggler, that thing that they're going on, kind of in my opinion. Christian versus Jack Swagger. Just don't really care too much about it. So there's a lot of stuff on SmackDown that I kind of just skip through. But there's some stuff on SmackDown which really just helps save the show, in my opinion. Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes is looking like a really good feud going into SummerSlam. And they finally got the two main events of SummerSlam actually laid out in Daniel Bryan and John Cena for the WWE Championship. And the Beast versus the Best, CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar in what should be a great SummerSlam main event. So give me your thoughts on SmackDown and some of the stuff that I've talked about, including Daniel Bryan, can he beat John Cena, Dolph Ziggler's babyface push, are you liking it? Are you liking the way they presented the Damien Sandow and Cody Rhodes feud? Let me know down in the comment section below. It's been another SmackDown review with me, Mr. Parkin, on behalf of the British Fist. Thank you very much for watching this video if you have, and goodbye.